Hey, what's up you guys? My name is JC Liza, and this week on Worthless Collab is Story Week. So I'm going to tell you the story of when I had jaw surgery. Fun. In case you haven't noticed, which you probably haven't, but if you've been here a while, you will have noticed that me and Nevaeh stopped making videos for a while, and when we started making them again, I looked very different and my face is swollen. But that is because I had to have jaw surgery, and probably in like 6th or 7th grade, I think, I went to the orthodontist and he told me that I had to have jaw surgery, and naturally I had like a full mental breakdown in the car because I was maybe like 13, 14 years old at the time. He basically just said that my jaw isn't aligned right, it was too far back, and when I smiled you could see too much of my gum that you shouldn't be able to see, and so I had to have jaw surgery to fix it. And what they were going to do, he showed me like magazines that had everything they were going to do. They were going to break it here and here and push it forward and then cut out a piece of bone here and pull the whole thing up, which sounds terrifying, and it was. He told us that he would send in an application type thing for me in Chicago at Shriners Children's Hospital, and they will do stuff for free, which is good because normally the surgery would have been $100,000, which I definitely can't afford. But after a while, we got the news that they had accepted the application and I could go to the hospital and meet everyone. And so we went, and I met all the surgeons and the nurses that I would be having and all the people that I would be with throughout the surgery. And the main surgeon showed me videos of how exactly each surgery would work, and so I got to see all of that. But I went to Chicago a couple more times after that, and I met more people that I would be with throughout this whole thing, and I did a scan and all that fun stuff. And then eventually on September 3rd, 2015, about a month into my freshman year at high school, I had surgery. The night before, me and my mom and my dad and my stepdad all went down to Chicago, and we had stayed in a hotel the night before. And in the morning at like 4 a.m. or something like that, we drove down to the hospital. And we got there, and we got checked in, and I got my bracelet and my gown and all that stuff. We went into another room, and they put me in like a different bed. And then I realized that the surgery was going to start soon. And they were doing all the tests and getting blood pressure and stuff, and they marked on my face where they were gonna do the incisions. So I just had 2 black dots on my face. So that was fun. And they had this cold spray thing that they sprayed on my hand, and then they put the IV in so I couldn't feel it. That was nice. But they did that, and they took a thing of blood, and then my dad had to leave the room because it was a lot for him. So he left the room for a second, but he came right back in. But they took the blood, and then they gave me something that would calm my muscles. And I remember looking over, and my dad was crying, and so I started crying, and my mom was like, "Honey, it's okay, don't cry." And I was like, "I know I'll be fine, but Dad's crying." And that is the last thing that I remember before surgery. I was told that I said bye and told people that I loved them and all that crap, but I don't remember any of that. So the next thing I remember, I woke up in a normal hospital room, and my mom told a nurse that my dad was going to pass out, and then he looked at me and then passed out. And I remember seeing nurses rush in, and then I just kind of went back to sleep, I guess. Over the next few days, and I would just kind of like wake up and get my pain pump because I couldn't take oral medicine yet because I couldn't swallow. And so I would take my little pain pump that they gave me, and it would give me like a shot of painkillers, I guess. And I could only do that once every 10 minutes, so that was fun. So I would wake up and ask where the other person was, because not everyone was in there at any given time. And so that was fun. I think the best part of that entire experience was when I couldn't sleep and everything hurt, because I did not get the good stuff. Alright, I was not loopy. I was a part of everything that happened, and it hurt a lot. And I could not sleep, and I had practically begged the nurse for something that would make me sleep. And she gave me a mix of a couple things. I think they were allergy pills and maybe my painkiller. I don't know. But she gave me a bunch of stuff, and I felt so good. And a doctor came in that was like the supervisor, and he was like, "You look kind of funny. Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Are you in La La Land?" And I was like, "Yes." And I heard him go and say something to the nurse, and she was like, "None of it's narcotic. It's fine." And he was like, "None of that is narcotic?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's just like allergy medicine." And he was like, "Oh, alright." And then I remember falling asleep, and I woke up, and I felt grand, because the pain medicine had time to kick in, so that was pretty great. Besides that, it wasn't too fantastic of an experience. I couldn't eat or drink anything. No, I could kind of drink, but the first night, I had to drink out of a syringe, first of all. If I wanted something, I had to squeeze it up into like a plastic syringe and drink it out of that. And the first night, I was really thirsty, and they were like, alright, you can have some water, so I drank some of that, and then I threw up. So that was just a not fun experience, and I couldn't eat, and all I had was water. The second day, she brought me like, broth and juices and stuff that I could try. Most of them were gross. Eventually, I got moved out of the ICU into like a normal room, and I got to actually shower, which was nice. If you hear noises, it's Nevaeh playing Mario Kart. And I started taking oral medicine, and I had to take liquid medicine, which was the most disgusting thing in the world. And so I like begged them to let me take pills so I didn't have to taste it, except for something. I don't remember what it was, but it tasted like sugar, and it was the best thing in the world. And I don't remember what it was, but it was perfect. I got sent home finally, but I got home and I got to see my sister who came home from college to see me, and my dog, which was grand, and my grandma. My mom went to the store and she brought me Starbucks, so that was good. But I was on a pure liquid diet. I had tomato soup and chocolate milk for just about every day, and by the time I left the hospital, I could finally drink out of a cup, so that was good, and I didn't have to drink out of a syringe. I lost 10 pounds. So, normally you go for 2-week checkups, then 4, then 6, and I wanted to not be on a liquid diet anymore, so I went back after a week, because I live only about 2 hours away from Chicago in Indiana. And so, I went back, and they told me that I could have soft food, so I went home, and I had some mac and cheese, but eventually I got my appetite back, and I was eating normal foods again, and I was off most of my medication, just some ibuprofen here and there, and I got back to school, and I did all of those things. I came back to school on my birthday.
Fun fact, my birthday's next week.
Fun fact, Nevaeh's birthday is January 23rd. If you enjoyed this video for whatever reason, give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below.
Oh yeah.
And leave a comment down below. I don't know. Have you ever had surgery? I don't know. Comment something. I would appreciate it. And subscribe. And all the links are in the down bar below. And I love you. And you're perfect. And bye.